Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about my 13th session of my DBT skills group. If you're new to watching this, please go back to session number 1, or 1 and 2, I think they're in the same video, and watch it from there, because none of this is going to make sense to those who are just tuning in now, because this is like a series that I've been doing for a couple weeks now. Well, 13 weeks to be exact. Anyway, so let's start with the homework, like we always do. So for the homework for this week, we had to describe an emotion name for an event that happened. And I'll just read you what the instructions are, actually. Select a current or recent emotional reaction and fill out as much of this sheet as you can. So this is all about emotion regulation. We're still on that. At first we were on distress tolerance, and you can see that in previous videos, and now it's emotion regulation. So anyways, my emotion name that I chose for this to do for this week was anxiety, and the intensity was, or no, this is not, sorry, I'm reading the wrong thing. The emotion name was anger, and the intensity was a 70. So the prompting event. I was partying at my boyfriend's house. I drank a lot, and eventually my boyfriend fell asleep, and I got very angry because I wanted attention, which led to me engaging in a problem behavior, which, as many of you know, the problem behavior that I have the most difficulty with is cutting, which is a form of self-mutilation. I should put a trigger warning on the title of this video, I think I will, or in the description. And my own interpretations and thoughts about the facts was, I felt as if my boyfriend was neglecting me because he fell asleep. Looking back, I realized I was definitely in emotion mind, which, if that doesn't make sense to you either, go back to my previous videos where I describe what emotion mind is. So check the facts, list as many other possible interpretations of the facts as you can. So number 1, the party ended. So this was like for me to remind myself, well, he fell asleep because blah blah blah. The party ended, my boyfriend was tired, I was too drunk anyways, and wise mind was unattainable, which is never a good thing. So what is the threat? What about this event or situation is threatening to me? What worrisome consequences or outcomes of this event am I expecting? Because my boyfriend fell asleep, the threat was that he didn't care about spending time with me, and also sex wasn't going to happen either. And when I've been drinking a lot, I often want to have sex more than usual, so check the facts. List as many other possible outcomes as you can given the facts. Number 1, he only got 5 hours of sleep. I can always have sex with him another time. It's not the end of the world. He'd rather spend time with me sober anyways. All of his actions show that he does love me. Therefore, he wouldn't intentionally neglect me. What is the catastrophe if the outcome I am worrying about does occur? The worst outcome would be he's annoyed with how drunk I got and we break up. I could cope with this by moving on like I did for my last breakup. I would go on living my life. I would try not to get that drunk in future relationships. Which for me, getting drunk has always been like a problem in relationships, but it hasn't been so much in this relationship. It was just this one incident really that was really bad. So does my emotion and intensity fit the facts of the situation? Like, is this a situation that it would be reasonable to be this angry? And I put, by writing out the situation level-headed and sober, I was able to determine that my emotion intensity didn't fit the facts of that situation. So that I was too emotional and too angry for that situation, meaning that my BPD symptoms were really heightened at that situation, and that I shouldn't have been that emotional about it. Not saying that, like, it's not justified that, like obviously, we feel what we feel, and, like, it's not wrong to feel that way, it's just, for the average person's brain, that wouldn't be and they wouldn't have gotten upset about that, basically. So that's just so I know that I was displaying symptoms of my disorder in that situation. So this week we talked about what did we talk about? Sorry, we talked about opposite action. So opposite action is acting opposite to your emotional urge. And this isn't always the right skill to use depending on the situation you're in, but we'll go into that later. I know, we'll go into that right now, apparently. Use opposite action when knowing the facts does not change your emotions. So if you know, you've checked the facts on something, which if you want to learn more about checking the facts, just go to my previous video. So knowing the facts does not change your emotions. The emotion or its intensity or its duration doesn't fit the facts. The emotion or its intensity or its duration is not effective for your goals in the situation. It is done all the way. So yeah, opposite action is done all the way. You can't say let's just come up with an example of that. My mom was being really annoying, which she tends to be. And I didn't want to be around her, blah, blah, blah. The opposite action of that would be to spend time with her. And that would be all the way. A little bit, which is kind of cheating, which you shouldn't do for opposite action, would be to just maybe spend 2 minutes with her and then leave. That would not be opposite action. That would be a teeny bit of opposite action for 2 minutes, but it wouldn't be all the way opposite action, knowing that you're doing the opposite of what you want to do. So the steps in taking opposite action. 1. Identify the emotion you want to change. 2. Check the facts and check to see if A. Your emotion fits the facts. B. Your emotion is effective for your goals. If your emotion does not fit the facts, or if acting on your emotion is not effective, go to step 3. And step 3 is identify your action urges. What is my emotion telling me to do? 4. Act opposite all the way to your action urges. And 5. Repeat. Acting opposite to your action urges until your emotional sensitivity to that prompting event goes down and your tendency to feel or act on the emotion also goes down. So hopefully this made sense to you guys. And I think that opposite action for me is also really useful when it comes to my anxiety disorder, as well as having borderline personality disorder, as well as that. But I unknowingly used opposite action. Like before I learned this skill, I have been using opposite action many times in my life. Back when my anxiety was extremely severe, I kind of made myself get out of the house and seek help from my psychiatrist and people around me and yada yada yada. That was opposite action. And if it wasn't for opposite action, I would probably still be housebound right now. So opposite action is a great skill to use, and yeah, I think that you guys will find it useful if you try it out with me. Yeah, so hopefully this video made sense and that you guys got something from it, and I will talk to you guys later. Take care and blessed be.